Mario Party 10 is very interesting, at least when it's compared to every single entry in the main series so far. Mario Party 1 through 8 are considered by many to be the classic Mario Party series. Mario Party 9 is considered the black sheep that changed up the mechanics that made it different from the main series. Then you have all the handheld games, which I can't really put into comparison because I feel like they're so much different and smaller than the main games, but they still have something that tied them together. Like Mario Party DS was more like the classic series, Island Tour was more like 9, and Advance, well, Mario Party Advance is just a completely rogue entry by itself. Mario Party 10 is kind of a hybrid of everything. It continues the gameplay of 9 for one mode, features a mode that is similar to the classic series, and tries to implement the feature of the gamepad being its own controller for a brand new one. Then it has some bonus games, some puzzle games, and some high score modes that are thrown there as well, along with an achievements checklist where you complete certain things for extra party points to obtain more goodies, I guess. I don't know. For this video, I'm going to be solely focusing on the three main modes: Mario Party, Bowser Party, and Amiibo Party. For each mode, I'm going to tell you what it is, what I think about it, very quickly rank the boards, if applicable, and then move on to the next mode. Don't expect the rankings to be too extensive or too descriptive. To be honest, I really didn't care too much about putting the boards in order, mostly due to the fault of the game, but I'll get more into that later. First up, we have Mario Party, a mode that is pretty much exactly like the gameplay from Mario Party 9. Now, while I do ultimately prefer the classic style of Mario Party gameplay used in Mario Parties 1 through 8, I do defend Mario Party 9 as its own unique title. In Mario Party 10's version of it, though, I have to say that I do feel like the developers of the game got extremely lazy. Every board feels very, very plain, and any interesting features were already used to a much better degree, I might add, in Mario Party 9's boards. This really just feels more like a, hey, do you remember the gameplay of Mario Party 9? Well, we brought back the basic core of it for this game, but to a much smaller degree. The first time I played a board in Mario Party 10, it was over in about 10 to 15 minutes, which is short compared to Mario Party 9, and incredibly short compared to any other Mario Party game. Given I was playing the default shortest board available, but still, even Toad Road at least felt like it went on to the 30-minute mark. But yeah, you go through a linear board, try to collect as many mini-stars as possible, whether it's through mini-games or small board events, and try to overcome your opponents before you reach the end. And yes, like Mario Party 9, you're all moving in the same direction and in the same vehicle. Seriously, remember when board games had multiple pieces that you moved around and you got to go on your own adventures? Even in Candyland and Monopoly Jr., you could move your own piece around. Some boards have unique attributes, like in Haunted Trail, Abu will follow you around and steal mini stars from whoever is captain when he passes, and in Airship Central, Bowser as one of his many gunships try to assault you with cannon fodder as you're making it to the end. Honestly, some of the ideas are pretty interesting, but sometimes with just the right items and dice rolls, the obstacles can be easily avoided and may have no impact on the game whatsoever. So really, it's just kind of a shame that more time wasn't devoted to this mode, because honestly, I would have much rather had another Mario Party 9 than a random assortment of basic bare-bones games. This is how I would rank the 5 boards of Mario Party 10, or Mario Party 10's Mario Party mode. Mushroom Park is just very boring and doesn't have a lot of excitement going for it, and as I mentioned earlier, it sometimes feels like it's over before it even starts. Haunted Trail is a little better, but I still feel like it's on the short side. Whimsical Waters is the first board that I feel is at a decent length and has some interesting board events and a mini-star giveaways. Airship Central and Chaos Castle are easily the best boards in this game, and I'll give the nod to Chaos Castle for being probably one of the better Bowser levels ever featured in a Mario Party game, despite the fact that Bowser's name isn't even on the name of the board. Some of the mechanics in Airship Central were pretty cool, but as the final board of the game, Chaos Castle just had everything I expected, but in a way that still made it very enjoyable. Another thing I will say to potentially give just a small bit of credit to Mario Party 10, all of these boards are better than the worst Mario Party 9 gave us, which was Bob-omb Factory. Aside from that though, the other Mario Party 9 boards still had more character and are definitely better designed than any of the boards in here. Next we move on to Bowser Party, the mode that was probably the most highlighted when Mario Party 10 was first announced at E3. This mode features a record-breaking 5 players, not counting the 8-player gimmick of Mario Party 7, mind you, that can be used in a single game of Mario Party. 4 of the players are on the same team and are trying to reach the end of the board, while the 5th player is controlling Bowser, the Koopa King himself. His goal is to catch the other players and torment them until they have no more health left, essentially making it so they can no longer move across the board. All 4 players move the vehicle before Bowser does, so a majority of the game will rely on you getting a big enough dice roll to catch your opponents and take away enough of their hearts in the minigames to either eliminate them as soon as possible, or to get them as close to being eliminated as possible. Bowser does get multiple dice blocks to use in order to balance it out, and if you don't roll high enough, you will get a freebie chance too. But your chances are pretty much the same, and if anything, you may even roll lower and then be in worse shape than you were during your first roll. Considering you have limited time to catch your opponents, it's kind of stupid that a large percentage of Bowser's success is luck dependent, which honestly, it's really not that hard to avoid getting hit in the Bowser minigames. In most of them anyway. Also, whenever you knock a player out, they can still help from beyond the grave and giving the remaining players a chance to keep moving. So yeah, even when you knock someone out, they still aren't out. That's fair. Not. I know a lot of people tried to argue the point against me that Bowser doesn't have a disadvantage and that Bowser Party is harder as a team of 4. I'm sorry, but after playing on my own time and during my playthrough on my channel, I am just not convinced of this fact. Maybe I'm being too critical of the mode and exaggerating a little bit, and possibly luck having a big enough factor in everything to make it seem so, but I always had an easier time as the team of 4 than I did with Bowser. With all that being said though, and moving on to the board rankings, Bowser Party only features 3 boards, all of which are already in party mode. And much like Mario Party mode, I pretty much give these boards the same exact ranking. Mushroom Park is too short, and I feel like it gives too much of a disadvantage for Bowser as it is, while Chaos Castle is long enough, epic enough, and appropriate enough for this type of mode. You could argue that Chaos Castle gives Bowser too much time to catch up and gives the team of 4 a greater disadvantage, but since it's Bowser Party and it's pretty much Bowser's course, I'm willing to look past that. Whimsical Waters is decent and seems like it would be a good balancer in between for the 2 playstyles, but Chaos Castle was just too good to not put as number 1. And finally we have Amiibo Party, what everyone was most excited about because it looked as if it would be the return of classic Mario Party. And after playing Mario Party 10 for as extensively as I did, I have to say, Amiibo Party was probably the low point of the 3 main modes. You can definitely still get some fun out of it, but as a classic return to the Mario Party style we all know and love, this was disappointing. Where do I start? Well, first of all, if you don't have an Amiibo, you can't even play this mode, so if you saw no value in purchasing an Amiibo, you're out of luck, because you need one to activate this game. And not just any Amiibo, but a Mario character Amiibo that's playable in this game in some fashion. So yeah, Dr. Mario, Bowser Jr., and Diddy Kong will not work. Second, this is a very bare bones version of Mario Party. You're given some coins to start, you save up coins to buy a star, person at the end of the game with the most stars wins, with the same amount of stars tie being broken by coins, and you also get a minigame after every round as well. Honestly, this is as basic and bare bones as you can get. I mean, even if you're playing with computers, the computers aren't even Amiibo statues, but little paper standees that you can possibly knock over with your dice roll. Yeah, it is kind of funny, but it just kind of shows that this mode was not really a serious mode. It's just kind of almost just kind of a mock-up of what Mario Party used to be. Finally, all the boards are pretty much the same. In fact, it's the same board, just with different cosmetic changes based on what character's board you choose. The board events are also different from character board to character board, but the events are as different as brands of orange juice. They may taste different, but you're still drinking orange juice. Because of this, I can't really give a good board ranking, because honestly, all of the boards are pretty much the same. You could potentially have different experiences, but you're still moving around in a square, and that's really all there is to it. I don't want to go too in-depth with Amiibo Party here, especially if I'm not going to rank anything, but really this mode is just too basic and boring, and it's just a very poor representation of what Mario Party used to be, and I was really disappointed by this mode. And with all that being said, the final ranking I'll do for this video are the 3 main modes, Mario Party, Bowser Party, and Amiibo Party. That's why I kind of went into a little more detail with these modes, because I was going to rank all 3 of them at the end, and I wanted to give you guys some reasons for why I ranked them in this way with all of my impressions and everything that I've said so far in this video. And after my first impressions, my impressions when I did my playthrough, and several months after my playthrough, this is what I think. Bowser Party at the top, Amiibo Party at the bottom, with Mario Party in between. Now, for Bowser Party, there are some very definite flaws with this mode, but overall, I have to admit, when I've had a good game of Bowser Party, it's a really good game of Bowser Party. I like the ideas they had. It's fun to play on both sides when you aren't getting screwed over by lucky and unlucky dice rolls, and aside from some balancing issues here and there, it honestly worked pretty well as a mode. I just wouldn't put this mode as one of the main modes in future installments of the game. Mario Party mode is, well, what can I say? My thoughts haven't changed much from Mario Party 9. It's decent, but not my board game of choice. I just wish they would have actually done more with it and actually put more work into the Mario Party mode in this game. And Amiibo Party, aside from just being very boring and slow, it's just not reflective of the strong foundation of what the series was built on. Seriously, look at board game footage of Mario Party 1 and compare it to Amiibo Party board game footage. It's amazing to see how Amiibo Party has managed to go backwards in terms of what we used to have. I could go on and say more and more, but I think there is a better way to go about doing this, and sure enough, during the making of all these ranking videos, you guys have asked me over and over again if I could do a top 10 video over the entire Mario Party series, ranking all the minigames, boards, and the games themselves. Now, I'm going to go ahead and refuse to do the former two, because that's seriously over 500 minigames to rank, and while the boards would be easier, the bottom would probably just all be Mario Party 9 and 10 boards. However, I have decided that I will be taking on the challenge of ranking the 10 console Mario Party games, and I'll release that video at a future date and time. If a new Mario Party game comes out, unless the developer isn't ND Cube, just assume that game will be ranked number 11. I have a lot of things going on right now, and since doing this, I've gotten a lot of other great ideas for top 10 lists as well, so give me some time to get my ideas together, and let me focus on my Let's Play videos for a bit too. Because I swear, it's a lot harder to create these lists than you would think it would be. When things have calmed down, the Mario Party game ranking will be sure to follow. Also, for those asking about the handheld Mario Parties, no, just not right now, please.